Hello. Okay, now it's working again. Pre-prepared iced coffee is a very good thing, Pause. All I have to do is pour. There's your voice, yeah. The mic is doing that thing again. I was like, look what you did. As I came back, I said, look what you did, Pause. I got some... You made me get more iced coffee. To be fair, I also could have hopped out to Dunkies, but that would have taken like 10 minutes. And like, this is way less annoying than popping out to Dunkies to get a nice coffee. I completely forgot Sunday was also a holiday. I didn't make you get a coffee, I just mentioned I got one. Yeah, but you mentioning that you got a coffee made me want to get more coffee, so I'm blaming you. Alright, so now we're on to Route B. Now we're on to B. Sunday is Mother's Day in the United States.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Anyway.
My mom passed in 2008, so it really hasn't been a holiday for me in almost a decade. Well, in over a decade, I should say. For some reason, I was thinking Mother's Day was the 12th. Yeah, it's always a Sunday. Kaine's dreams, discrimination. Wait, do we get to play as Kaine? Sounds of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area, magnified sound, causing even the slight drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from huts as villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child that braved the downpour is now wandering slowly towards the wooden hawk-shaped weather vane in the center of town. We get to read text! Let's go! I know, right? Also, before we get into anything too important, I wanted to show off my shirt that I got from TeePublic, because it's adorable. Madoka Magica is one of my favorite anime ever, and I found this shirt on TeePublic, and it was absolutely, literally, the most adorable thing I ever thought. I just wanted to show it off, because I like showing off things. Yoko Taro sure loves his text adventures. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that has survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I... The child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the vein slowly creaked to life, spinning this way and that for a moment, finally settled with the beak pointing firmly toward the east. East? Really? Before the vein can move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as hail of stones began to fall all around. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo, Kaine! The voice belonged to Dima, the worst of all bullies in the area. As Kaine struggled to stand, the final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision. She could make out the shapes of Dima and the usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled around her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew they were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to the sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated and, if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Demo's words chewed her like a worm through an apple. He can't hurt me, she lied to herself. Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me. Oh, look, the little freak's gonna cry. What's wrong? You sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Kaine prayed for Lorraine to flood down and carry her away from the world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept ever closer to the clouds became thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. I'm a failure. I wish Demo's rock had taken my head off. Kaine couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground. The bully moves forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upwards. She tried to turn her away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. Show me. Did you just say no? You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Not even taking his attention for Kaine, he called to his cohorts. Come on, guys, let's get the freak what she deserves. As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning, as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows who you really are. Kaine ignored the question. She was instead to stare at the weather vane and continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, it's a funny joke for someone with dead parents in the home to go home to. Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain while waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind and sound to the rain, let it become her world entire. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single blood-caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from the spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. As if any of you little bastards ever touch Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Dino was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth. Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it, what are you doing? Quit whining, and no one ever died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. A big one. The thing could have killed me. Death is the best cure for stupid. Demo's face raged at her words. Locking his eyes on Kaine, he took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out! Leave this village! No one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her sign and barked out a single laugh. Ha! Look at the fat boy go. Gives me healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kaine, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot. The words of her grandmother stung Kaine, and she turned away. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears held in cheek for so long began to finally fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think it caused bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As Kaine's tears turned to sob, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kaine found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next. It grants no mercy to any attempt at crossing. You got a duty to fight until your last breath, understand? The woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine. You know because you survived it. As the words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know her grandmother. But when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence. And the first few years together had not been easy, but with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. It was only now, sitting in the mud with blood and caking her face, that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen the hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all those things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. Did I make you sick, Grandma? Oh, of course not. Don't be an ass. Kaine drew her grandmother's moss-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't... Hush, interrupted Grandma. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you, and if folks have a problem with that, they can go to hell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, those are lunar tears. Grandma, you made this for me? Lunar tears were legendary flowers, and most people could live their entire lives without seeing one, yet her grandmother somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine's grandmother is great. At least you know where Kaine gets her mouth from. Kaine reached up and touched the wreath as she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find these? Just stumbled on them while I was out doing the shopping. The pain she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers using the construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right. The old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. You think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. We're gonna be fine, you and me. As long as we got each other, we'll just be fine. Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As we began a long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all of her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. So their art for Last Judgment is the box art, but they also announced a steelbook that looks incredible. Well, yeah. If they announce a steelbook that looks incredible, I'm fine with it, but that box art was awful. That box art looked like lunchtime Photoshop. Awful. Okay, yeah, that steelbook is strong. That steelbook is very strong. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned to tend home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on a breeze. Is it all gonna be just like text? Is the whole of Route B gonna be text? Oh, hey Curtis. Reading game Pog. Wait, really? The entirety of Route B is text? Not all of Route B? In the distance, but the story bits, yes. In the distance, Kaine heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had purposeful quality to it, as if bearing a master woodsman to go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was far from the work of art it could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung around a barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of shit axe. Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. Grandma, not you, Kaine? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. Don't get too close, or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake. She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, Grandma, do you need help? I can get you water or lunch or a new axe or something? The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Shades have been restless lately. I don't want you running into one of them bastards. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was far more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of possible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter. Rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude and harbored a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention onto the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing, the axe only produced a tiny crack in the wood, which she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke. The tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it, crap. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with the blade, but the task was challenging. This is tough. My logs were all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms, ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy girl, you better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling feature at the bucket. Get the bucket, can't let it spill. Kaine steadied the bucket with a foot and knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress, but Kaine didn't notice. Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kaine away. Stop that, just stop. Ain't like I'm dying, just tired from the trip is all. Her grandmother lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was finally becoming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaine was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. Grandma, you're sick. You need medicine. I'm going to the village. Excuse me. The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. It's all right. I'll be fine. Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed like an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. Well, I don't like it, goddammit, but I guess it could be so stubborn like you grew up. The old woman watched Kaine strap her on her boots and made her way down to the road to the village. Thank you. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across the dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still in there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Dino and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kaine finally found herself at the entrance of the village. A few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, and they muttered to each other with eyes raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air, telling everyone to listen exactly why she thought of Kaine's presence. Hey, lady, said Kaine with a brow which she did not feel. Where's the apothecary? The woman flabbily cheeks shook in bewildered anger. How dare this thing speak to me? Kaine saw in her eyes felt a different... crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride. She made her way to the apothecary, but the new emotion had little time to take root. So as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. He'd clearly be sent here on some kind of family errand because his gang of followers is nowhere to be found. Oh my god. I mean, what are you doing here, freak? The insult was delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for the medication. Ha! Barked Demo. The old bitch finally kneel over. Go to hell, Demo. The boy's eyes grew so wide he seemed ready to fall out of his head. Before they could fly a comeback or worse, a punch, the apothecary told him to knock it out before he kicked him out of the store. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop where they only prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled in the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. A notion of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely in a world so vast, there would be a place she could call home. On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its cruel magic and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. You like that picture? Kaine turned to find the apothecary with the small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad. They seemed to stare through her into nothing as he spoke. That's my daughter. I sketched her when she was a little girl. She has been dead a long time now. Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait, trying to come up with the right words. Pictures are wonderful things. They let the ones closest to you live on forever. He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kaine and smiled. Hey, near the medicine, she reached down to his side and produced a handful of old wax crayons. You should have these. There's no one left who I wish to draw. Kaine took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yeah, I've heard rumors about you. It's a small village, and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe. But I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is deplorable. Grandma's name was Kyle? Thought Kyle suddenly. She was still muddling over this new fact and reached her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hand. Your grandmother is an old friend of mine. I owe her much. I worried she would like it if you drew a picture of her. I think she would like that very much. It was a tiny, both foreseeable step, but it was a step nonetheless, and with tiny hands, tiny steps, she one day discovered the rest of the world. When Kaine returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding a bit in places. And Kaine to think she'd been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up to her. Back already, are you? Come here, let me have a look at you. Grandma sat up, examined Kaine from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to react. It was kind of fun. No, seriously, it was. Fun, huh? So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. The portrait of me ridiculous. No one will stare at her wicked old crone. But Grandma, I'll make you live forever. Horseshit, said her grandmother, throwing back a sheet from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner. Kaine would not relent. At the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house, posing for a master artist. It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought the crayons, make drawing easy or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed as her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be a judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It also could have been a boulder, or a lump of clay, or an incredible misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. The woman stared at the picture for a long time, slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kaine, you truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush, I wouldn't hear any more bull how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. A week later, Kaine could stand it no more and asked her grandma to take the artwork down. Hush, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud. She pondered this for a bit and turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before, and it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who made her place in this world possible. Time moves on. People and memories move in and out of life like ghosts passing through a hall, but this moment will be different. Kaine swore, because I will remember it forever. Oh my lord, how much text is there? There is so much text. I need a nap. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared back at the black object on her plate. She had been pushing around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes in order to bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up to her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug. The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. It's no bug, you fool girl. It's a berry. You stopped playing Returnal for this. I sure did. Well, it sure looks like a bug, and I think it's burnt or something because it smells terrible. Oh yeah, that's terrible, alright. Why, you little brat? Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, that's a fact. 5 years had passed since the moment where Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As often the way with two stubborn people, their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward the same. Meals used to be somber affairs now filled with laughter. Kaine could not remember a time where she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day. She ignored too many chores she used to take for granted. So this morning, she found Kaine lacing up her work boots with the breakfast of barnberry rolling through her belly. Where are you going today? Kaine looked up surprised. The old woman really asked for specific anymore. So I'm going to check out the calamine trees to see if they're ripe. Thought we can make some jam or something. Oh, and I was going to pick up some flagstones and need to take the wheelbarrow. Constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble, the old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection. Goddamn, girl, if a bunch of thieves want to ransack this own place, let them come. We ain't got nothing worth stealing anyway. I'm not worried about thieves, I'm worried about shades. People saw one in the village yesterday. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other. Grandma, no. If I don't go to the calamine trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that. A confused expression passed across the old woman's face. For a moment, she was a small child, lost at a carnival. Yes, she said after a bit. Yes, of course. Alright. Sorry, Kaine. Lately it seems my mind is... She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to her nightstand, gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower petals that each threw a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the day she first received it. Well, pause. We're gonna have to slog through all this text eventually. We're gonna have to do it eventually. God, I got annoyed at all the text in Route A, and now there's even more text. It's like Yoko Taro is just messing with me. There's so much text. There ain't another like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you. Okay, Grandma, that's another goddamn compliments for one day. Sorry, girl, sometime my mind just... Listen, maybe I should stay home after all. No, you don't have to stay here to keep an eye on a little codger like me. You go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot and be fine. When you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Don't turn around, she told herself as if she spun her for one final look and saw a small, bad woman standing in front of a ramshackle hide. With a sad expression on her face. God, she looks so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and carry her away. Kinda worried about her grandmother all day, causing her Rick to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow. She only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kinda pushed on the nearly into wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud cover hovered just ahead. Tracing its path to the figure, Kaine suddenly felt her stomach gnaw in of itself. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, as flames licking up as trying to touch the sky. Unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. She got closer and closer. Kaine's men began to race with their footfalls. It's too dark, not just fire. It can't be fire, too much smoke. Gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt. Her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with the inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet, and she balanced with the means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed for some insane god. Seeing Kaine, let a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into shimmering, inky blackness, as her mind was unable to comprehend such a thing could actually exist. Once the smell hit her, the bent of rotten meat and excrement, the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again. This time Kaine responded with a scream of her own. Alright, you bastard, she thought as her scream echoed off the high cliffs around them. It's you or me, let's go. The shade-eyed Kaine with an bemused interest, and it began looking from her to the house and back in, as urging her to take a look at the destruction so gleefully wrought. With a dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced toward the house. Through the smoke and flame, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. Grandma! At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frankly. She's alive! Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced towards the yard, towards the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar, powerful enough to uproot the trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing against the rocky earth. The stars danced in front of her eyes. She tried to remember how the light started. Kaine struggled to her feet. The shade stomped towards the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might as well have been pushing on a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood to the air, then collapsed under the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched her feet, only to fall back into the earth at the grass. Her ankles were on fire, and one of both of them was surely broken. Ignoring the pain and screaming through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken tail of blood and dust in her wake. Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only lights were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness. The distance seemed to increase with every second that passed. Short, panting breath spells from somewhere deep inside his core. Bastard, laughing at us. The shade moved its claw slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive only to snuff out her life, and Kaine was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all of her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backward, but she forced her right began to hobble towards the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch of her waist, she leapt forward on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. Give her back to me. It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground, blood pouring from her multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. Kaine? Kaine's vision blurred as she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out through her. Grandma? Kaine, you gotta run. You can't best this one. Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all of her strength. Grandma, come on, we have to go. One of her hands slick with blood slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped to the ground below. Grandma, no! I said run, goddammit. You have to live. You have to get through. That would save her unfinished. Before she could say another word, the shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from the gaps in the creature's toes, and as that terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she would be seeing could not be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted and unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been hers in the moment before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of the embrace, the tremble of her fingers, but then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Kaine screamed. The thunderous sound echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving in the smoke on the ground. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent in impossible angles, her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. The creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step back, returned to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment. Laughing like a madwoman, she leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The amount of text wouldn't be bad if there was at least images to go with it. Yeah, no kidding. Deep beside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke, the flames, all of it will fade away until there remains a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it, 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 kill it. I'm not going to keep repeating it. As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die. She felt that her desire to kill and the desire to live blended into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. Are we done with the text adventure for now? Holy shit, that was way too much text.
The beast approaches.
Oh, I know.
And we got more text later, right?
Even survive these past 5 years.
I'm not gonna let this happen again. It dies today. My sword feels lighter.
It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
Yeah, there's just so much text. There was so much text. Hey, look, we're right back to text. Well, we have no self-control.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
You were like, of course, Figleaf, you bought the third Maya Sakurajima prize figure.
Plus another Hatsune Miku.
Plus a third Hatsune Miku figure.
It's okay. You know, there's so many figures of eyes in this house. We could use.
I mean, yeah, plus I needed the World Ends With You figures.
No, you did. I'm
And,
surprised you. Yeah.
and the plushie. Well, yeah, the pre-order doesn't actually Okay. At this point, I will read this on my own time. I will read it on my own time. There's so much text.
Stay alive. Stay alive.
Grandma.
Kaine, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
By the way, this is for you.
Is that a lunar tear?
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great. Thank you.
I can't do it.
Kaine waking from her long petrified sleep. Neil's unflagging kindness.
I can't do
Our
it.
union was a happy one, and we let it wash over us like rain.
I wish there was
That
just
is,
like
until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
Devil and Popola sure ruined it all.
Are you kidding me? You can't be serious!
Please, try to understand. People are tired and scared, and...
This is crap, and you know it!
It's okay. We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean, look at me. As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
But...
We'll see you later.
Sorry about this.
Just not in the way that NieR is saying it right now.
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. Never even occurred to me. Damn it.
We should turn in.
More text?
I didn't get much sleep that night. For the first time in my life, I hated Devila. For the first time in my life, I doubted Popola. But those feelings are pointless in the end. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. To protect it from the horror of the Shades.
Like it wouldn't be so bad if it was voice acted, but the fact that it's just
Really,
not
how can I
voice
blame
acted at
Devila and
all.
Popola? In the end,
Trying
I'm
to
just
read
as
that
bad.
all on stream is just exhausting. It's just like paragraphs
'Cause I
among
never once
paragraphs
stopped to
among
think about
paragraphs. Like
Kaine and
reading
Emil's
an
situation
entire
myself.
chapter of a novel on stream. Which some people might like doing that. I do not. I don't want to read a novel on stream.
I should have popped, but what good would that even do?
I got a fire going.
Wait, is that?
Campfire? I'm so happy to get to talk to you again, Kaine.
Yeah, me too.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with this special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Yeah, but it didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know? At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
Emil's such a good boy.
Not very interesting. Sorry.
Come on, I just want to know you better. Please?
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession thing. My body is different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak. But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was, no matter how bad things got. She gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession and my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck,
Let me guess. More warm water?
okay. Can we just forget I told you about that?
Emil's like, I poured warm water over you. I don't know if that's actually gonna do anything. It didn't do anything, but I just want you to know that I was making an effort. Emil is good boy.
Sleep well? And yet your red eyes don't be so...
I need to go see Devila.
Very well. What might that...
It's...
I've not heard...
She got the black scrawl and died when I was little.
My apologies.
It's all right. This is the only reading it helps remind...
I see.
But the final entry... Well, take a look.
Say there, can you not hear me? Why are you standing about like a slack-jawed ninny?
Oh, hey!
Felt like I was dreaming or something.
Sleeping on one's feet is quite the talent indeed. Come now, there's the door.
Right. Let's go.
He's old man NieR now. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what this is. I did look up gameplay for Gestalt last night after I was done. Oh boy, did they really improve. Like, only really after watching that did I realize how much they actually improved the gameplay for the Replicant remake. Medical herb 3. A black scroll, lost destiny, a white book, a false truth. So apparently this isn't my screen messing up. This is how it's supposed to look right now. Soldiers of Salt calling forth white death. They are legion, those who plunge the world in the darkness. Stab. 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 Okay, stab a bunch of them. God, I would like it if they would stop just, like, teleporting. It's making it really hard to keep track of them. The one-handed sword, Palace and Breeze. Cool. Oh, that must be the DLC. The dragon's corpse brought death to the world, delivering unto it the power of magic. So I guess we're stuck doing this now. The black sickness stains the future. They journey to return to soulless vessels. Ugh. Are you kidding me? Damn it. Obtain the Kabuki outfit. Saving. This is via 30,000 experience points. Medical herbs. Cool. Okay. Good to know I don't have to complete all 3 of those to leave.
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken from a most unpleasant dream.
I know what you mean.
I wonder if, like, the quests carry over or anything carries over? Yeah, nothing. No quests carry over. Okay. I'd probably have to, like, redo the quests. Or re-obtain the quests to get them.
Hey.
Oh, I kinda thought you'd never talk to us again.
I understand you're doing this for the village. And that you don't have a choice.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah?
sorry about yesterday.
You don't need to. Let Emil and Kaine.
Alright.
The only thing that's breaking is my spirit. Yeah, that was from the Outer Wilds playthrough, and I had no idea what was going on.
Oh. Hello.
Look,
Stop. You didn't do it.
Yeah.
This is the same conversation.
Oh, you know.
The temp.
That's it.
Oh,
but the bridge.
So, yes. It took. I also. The ferryman will. That should make.
Thanks, Pope. I feel like I'm really. Alright.
And for the love of.
I should use the quote feature more often. I don't have a ton. I don't remember what the context for that one is. I definitely do not remember the context for that.
The path above the entrance to the shopping.
how excellent to know the canal is finished. Hopefully this puts our days of running all over behind us.
The faster we can move, the faster we can save Yona. Let's use it as often as we need.
The quote 7, I definitely remember that, because that was me being pissed off at Proud Mode Ursula in Kingdom Hearts 1. Because she's bullshit and kills you in like 2 shots.
Hey, shh. Oh, thank it.
I definitely have said
The Lost Shrine's up ahead, just past this cave.
I definitely have said more things that are quotable than
Let's-
this. We got that quote twice. I wonder what my quote 1 was. Oh, we're getting a new scene. What do you want? Go away, dirty defective swine. I'm not like you, I'm different. Oh, that's a new scene. That was not a good square, that was a bad square. I could just like you know, go on Streamlabs and like it'll probably show me all of this, but I don't know. This is funnier and I like this more. That quote was great. I wear reasonable shorts for my legs. Quote, that quote's a good quote. Here are me and Paz annoying everybody else, just being like, let's mess with the quote feature over and over again. There's all a ploy. We already did quote 7. Quote 5, I mean. Quote 6. Quote 7. Did we get quote 7? Quote 7 is the 2 fucking hours. Quote 8 is the, please, someone please kill me quote. Oh, that was a good quote. I'm sure there was a response to something Ryan said during that playthrough. You again? Stop bothering me. No more vice has been taken away. Hansel is dead. There's no reason for me to exist anymore. I was so up. We were so mad. Pause. My life is over. Just leave me alone. What? Big Leaf will never escape this hell.
Ain't you excited, sunshine? We finally get to bathe in blood.
Don't talk to me.
I want to kill so bad I can barely stand it.
I will 100% do that ban words thing for charity again at some point, because that turned out to be a rousing success. That got a lot of people to donate money. Fun fact, Tyron's voiced by Spike Spencer, who also voiced Ring a Bell. Wait, who's Tyran, though? Like, I'm confused. Spike Spencer also did who? In the original dub, right? Yeah, that's what I remembered.
This is all too easy.
The guy who's taunting Kaine? Yeah, but... Did we, like, see him before? Am I just being, like, kind of, like, confused and tired? Molly also told me Spike Spencer is Shinji's original VA for Ava, which is kind of funny. He's the shade possessing Kaine. Thank you for giving me that explanation, Pause. I was like, I'm definitely missing something for some reason that I should probably already know. I'm just being silly and tired. So I appreciate you telling me what I should know already. You're great, Pause.
What's with these guys?
Certainly not your garden variety, Shades.
Their bodies aren't fully functional.
Say, I've heard of this. A cursed area where incomplete shades gather.
Oh. I guess we're probably hearing it from Kaine's perspective this time. And that's why we can hear him. We couldn't hear him before. Like, right? Like, I must be on the money there. Yeah, okay. As I was like, for a second, was I supposed to hear that voice before? Because I don't remember ever hearing that voice before. Just now. But if that's the case, that actually makes a whole lot of sense. Nope, see you later. Not bothering to mess with that guy. I'll treat you all poorly. Amachi betrayed you, all because you wouldn't get stalled before the change was complete. But after all this, I think I can understand you. I think we can speak as equals. Fun fact, you can get the Animal Crossing Build-A-Bear now from the Nintendo website. That's cute. The Isabel one, I assume you speak. I assume you're talking about the Isabel one. The Isabel Build-A-Bear. Isabel, oh my god, that Yoshi is adorable!
Kaine, Emile, look, from now on, I'm going to sleep outside with you.
Why?
The Yoshi is
I
also
can't
not
accept
very
that you aren't
expensive.
allowed in the village. It's stupid.
So you're staging a protest? Fun.
Don't waste your time.
But it just feels wrong.
Well, that's really nice of you, but you still don't have to stay out here with us.
NieR.
You got a super important mission. You can't sleep out in the rain. What if you catch a cold? Besides, I like camping with Kaine. Sometimes we sit around the fire and tell stories, or roast...
Emile, that's enough.
This is Hop. We seem to be surrounded by a mob of helpless puppies.
Just kick them aside.
One second, I'll be right back.